My beloved child, become still for a moment. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders soften and release the pressure to feel what you think you should feel. You do not have to perform happiness for me. You do not have to hide the trembling beneath your gratitude. Come close exactly as you are, because I know what this new beginning has stirred within you. Perhaps a trustworthy person has entered your life after you learned to survive disappointment. Perhaps meaningful work has appeared after a season that made you question your usefulness. Perhaps financial stability is finally becoming possible. A peaceful home is opening before you. Your sense of purpose is returning, or an unexpected door has moved after years of silence. You prayed for this. You waited for this. So why did the answer awaken an ache? Why did good news bring tears after everyone stopped watching? Why did excitement arrive with dread beneath it? Why did celebration make you feel guilty? Why did kindness make you search for a hidden motive? Why did an open door awaken the desire to retreat? My beloved child, I saw every one of those reactions. I saw the smile you offered while your heart became quiet. I saw the memory that returned when you imagined being happy again. I saw you wonder whether something was wrong with you, because the blessing did not erase the sorrow. Nothing is wrong with you. Think of light entering a room that has been closed for a long time. The light reveals the beauty that was waiting there, but it also reveals the dust resting in forgotten corners. The light did not create the dust. It simply made visible what darkness had concealed. In the same way, this opportunity did not create your grief. Its brightness touched places within you that had learned to remain hidden. Hear me clearly. The presence of grief does not mean the opportunity is wrong. The presence of grief does not mean the opportunity is wrong. And the arrival of something good does not mean your sorrow must disappear at once. I will not accuse you because you remember. I will not call you ungrateful because joy and pain entered the same room. Stay near me through this letter. I will show you how to receive what is new without denying what was lost, how to open your hands without pretending they never held something precious before. For this is the truth we must enter next, my beloved child. Gratitude and sorrow can live within the same heart. One does not cancel the other, and neither makes your healing false. My beloved child, you can be thankful and still tender. You can be hopeful and still remember. Let this truth settle gently within you. You can welcome what is arriving and still feel the absence of what is gone. Your heart does not have to choose one truth and silence the other. Not celebration instead of sorrow. Not sorrow instead of celebration. But an honest heart with room for both. Perhaps you shared your good news with someone new and suddenly remembered the person you once would have called first. Perhaps you entered a new workplace and felt grateful for the opportunity, yet the memory of how the last chapter ended followed you through the door. Perhaps you finally sat inside a peaceful home, surrounded by safety, and discovered that your body still remembered the years when peace could not be trusted. I know those moments, my beloved child. I know the unexpected pause in your voice. I know the tears that appeared beside your smile. I know how quickly you judged yourself, wondering why gratitude had not made you simpler. Look at the sky when rain falls while sunlight is still shining. The rain does not deny the sun, and the sun does not shame the rain. Both can belong to the same sky. In the same way, sorrow can fall through a life that is becoming bright again. This does not make the light false. It makes your experience honest. Do not turn your healing into a performance. You do not have to smile through every memory. You do not have to bury every tear or call every ache a failure of faith. I am not waiting for you to become emotionally simple before I love you. I am not withholding guidance until your feelings become neat and easy to explain. Bring me the whole heart, not only the grateful part, not only the courageous part, but also the part that still trembles when goodness comes near. Healing is not proved by forgetting. Healing begins to show itself when you can remember without giving the memory every room in your house, every seat at your table, every hour of your present day. The past may speak, but it does not have to become the only voice you hear. So stop policing every feeling. Let joy breathe. Let sorrow speak without taking command. Let both come before me without shame. And in the next place, my beloved child, I will help you understand why goodness itself can feel dangerous, why safety may seem unfamiliar after loss, and why a gentle beginning can awaken the fear of another ending. My beloved child, do not mistake your fear for a refusal of goodness. A part of you may become afraid when something beautiful appears, not because you do not want it, but because you remember what it felt like to want something before. Once, you welcomed what seemed precious. You trusted, you built, you allowed hope to take root in the hidden soil of your heart. Then, something changed. A promise broke, a person left, a door closed, or a future you had already begun to love disappeared. And afterward, your heart made a quiet agreement with itself. Expect less, imagine less, need less, and perhaps the next loss will hurt less. I saw when that agreement was formed. I know it was not made from weakness, but from weariness. Now a new beginning stands before you, and the old questions rise. How long will this last? What will it cost me? What will happen if I trust it? Who will I become if it disappears too? So you delay the reply you want to send. You minimize the achievement you once prayed for. You search kind words for hidden motives. You expect abandonment before anyone is left. You refuse to picture a future because imagining it feels like giving grief another target. My beloved child, I do not condemn these reactions, but I will not let them become your master. Think of a smoke alarm that learned to sound because fire once filled the room. Even after the flames are gone, it may react to warmth as though destruction has returned. Its warning has a history. It deserves attention. But every warm room is not burning. Every open hand is not hiding harm. Every uncertain moment is not the beginning of another ending. So, pause when fear speaks. Do not silence it with shame, but do not crown it with authority. Bring it near me. Ask what belongs to memory and what belongs to this present moment. Look for what is actually before you. Is there consistency, not merely intensity? Is there truth, not merely pleasing language? Is there patience when you need time? Is there character when no applause is present? Does this opportunity allow honest questions, wise boundaries, and steady growth? Fear may point towards something that deserves examination, but fear alone cannot issue the final verdict. Hear me again, my beloved child. Fear may speak during a new beginning, but it does not have to direct the beginning. Fear may speak, but it does not have to direct. Let present truth answer remembered danger. Let wisdom walk beside hope. Let the door remain open long enough for character to become visible. And now we must go deeper, because beneath the fear that happiness may be taken from you, there may be another ache. The fear that receiving happiness at all would betray the person, the dream, or the life you lost. My beloved child, beneath your fear of losing joy, there may be a hidden loyalty to what you lost. You may believe that moving forward would mean it no longer mattered, that smiling again would diminish the tears, or that receiving a new life would betray the life you once expected to have. Perhaps you are learning to love after bereavement or heartbreak, and tenderness towards someone new awakens guilt. Perhaps you are succeeding after a dream you once shared with another person collapsed. Perhaps laughter has returned to a season once marked by tears, and for one sudden moment you feel ashamed that your heart could become light again. Perhaps you are building a peaceful life, but it looks nothing like the future you once pictured. I see the question beneath all these moments. If I become happy, will I have abandoned what mattered? No, my beloved child, remembrance is not measured by continued suffering. Love is not kept faithful by refusing every future joy. You do not honor what was precious by making pain your permanent offering. Your grief testified that something mattered. You do not have to keep bleeding to prove that it did. Remember Hannah. She carried a sorrow so deep that ordinary words could not hold it. She brought her anguish into my presence without polishing it, without pretending, without forcing herself to sound strong. Her tears were not mocked. Her grief was not dismissed. I received the prayer beneath the trembling of her lips. But her sorrow was never required to become her entire identity. When joy later entered her story, it did not make the earlier anguish unreal. The answer did not travel backward and erase the nights of weeping. Instead, her prayer gave grief a place to be witnessed, without allowing pain to become the only future she could receive. Think of carrying a treasured photograph into a new house. You do not throw it away because the address has changed. You give it a place of honor. You remember the story it holds. But you do not ask that photograph to become the walls of every room, the light in every window, or the only thing the house is permitted to contain. My beloved child, release the private vow. If I become happy, I will have abandoned what mattered. release it slowly. Release it without condemning the part of you that made it. Say instead, "What I lost mattered, and the life before me matters too." Your joy is not a betrayal. Your peace is not disloyalty. Your future does not revise the past. It simply refuses to make suffering the last word. Yet guilt and fear can quietly disguise themselves as protection. In the next place, I will show you how they can make you test good people, doubt steady doors, or damage the very blessing you once asked to receive. My beloved child, I know why you look for the ending before you permit yourself to enter the beginning. You believe that if you discover the danger early enough, you can escape the pain that once found you unprepared. Hope appears. Memory predicts sorrow. You search for certainty, but no relationship, opportunity, or human promise can remove every uncertainty. Then, because certainty never comes, you withdraw, and the ending created by withdrawal seems to confirm what fear predicted. I know how quietly this happens. You may provoke someone into proving their care, then distrust the reassurance they offer. You may interpret one delayed response as abandonment while overlooking months of consistency. You may conceal what you need, hoping a safe person will somehow know, then feel unseen when they do not. You may refuse support, miss an important deadline, decline a responsible opportunity, or leave before enough evidence has appeared to reveal whether staying was wise. My beloved child, this is not discernment. Discernment remains willing to learn. It watches patiently, asks honest questions, and changes its conclusion when the evidence changes. Suspicion decides the answer first, then turns every uncertainty into proof. Do not let emotional intensity become your only confirmation. A powerful feeling does not guarantee that an opportunity is from me, and a frightened feeling does not prove that danger is present. A coincidence is not a covenant. A moment of certainty is not a substitute for character. Look instead for what can be observed over time. Is there honesty when truth is inconvenient? Is care mutual, or does only one person carry the weight? Is there patience when you establish a boundary? Are the terms responsible and clear? Can you ask questions without punishment? Can you move slowly without being pressured? Let consistency speak more loudly than excitement, and let character speak more loudly than fear. Think of a seed placed in good soil. If you uproot it every morning to inspect whether roots have formed, you will injure the very growth you are trying to verify. Some things become trustworthy only through time, steadiness, light, and patient care. Constant testing cannot create the safety it demands. So interrupt the cycle once. Before you disappear, pause. Name the fear. This silence reminds me of being left, or this opportunity awakens the memory of failing. Then gather present evidence. Ask what you actually know. Communicate instead of retreating without explanation. Not blind trust, not immediate escape, but one honest, discerning step. And now, my beloved child, there is another burden to release. The new person, the new work, the new home, or the new season must not be required to heal a wound it did not create. It may walk beside your healing, but it was never meant to carry the whole weight of your past. My beloved child, the new blessing may walk beside your healing. It cannot become your healer. Let me say it again, so your heart does not place an unbearable weight upon what is beginning. The new blessing may walk beside your healing, but it cannot become your healer. A new partner cannot promise never to disappoint you. A new job cannot prove your worth every morning. More money cannot silence every insecurity. A peaceful home cannot prevent every painful memory from entering your thoughts. When you assign the new chapter the role of rescuing you from the old one, you ask it to carry a burden it was never created to bear. Then, ordinary imperfections begin to feel like betrayals. A misunderstanding feels like abandonment. A difficult day at work feels like proof that you have failed again. An unexpected expense makes stability seem false. A quiet evening in your new home awakens an old ache, and you wonder whether peace has betrayed its promise. But peace never promised the absence of memory. Love never promised the absence of misunderstanding. Opportunity never promised a life without effort, questions, or change. My beloved child, a healthy relationship is not one wounded person and one appointed rescuer. It is two growing people learning to speak truth, repair harm, honor boundaries, and offer grace. Neither person is perfect. Neither person is called to become the other's savior. They walk beside one another, but they must each continue the deeper work of honesty, healing, and responsibility. And this truth reaches beyond love. Employment can provide purpose, provision, and room to grow, but it cannot answer every question about your identity. Stability can give you firmer ground, but it cannot guarantee control over tomorrow. Achievement can become a gift, but it cannot build a permanent wall between you and grief. Think of bringing a new lamp into a house that has known many nights. The lamp can warm the room before you. It can help you see where you are standing and guide your next step. But do not ask it to explain every night that came before it. Do not accuse its light because it cannot travel backward and rewrite the darkness. Releasing these expectations does not make the blessing smaller. It allows the blessing to become real, not a fantasy required to save you, but a living gift that can be known, tended, and sustained. Bring the deepest wound to me. Name it in honest reflection. Let trustworthy people sit beside you. Seek wise pastoral, communal, or professional support when the weight exceeds what you can carry alone. Do not hide silent demands inside a relationship or opportunity that does not know it is being tested against your past. Let the new be new. Let it offer what it truly can. Let me hold what it cannot. In the next place, my beloved child, I will show you how to tend your grief while still participating in this, beginning slowly, honestly, and with the kind of support that helps hope take root without forcing it to bloom before its time. My beloved child, breathe before you decide. Name what is happening. Bring the fear into prayer. Do not make a permanent decision while the first wave of emotion is still rising. You may say, I am grateful for this opportunity, and I am grieving what its arrival has awakened. You may say, I want to receive this kindness, and part of me is afraid to trust it. Two realities can be spoken in one honest sentence. You do not have to conceal one to make the other acceptable. Receive slowly. Take the next honest step, not every possible step at once. Let trust grow through repeated consistency. Let the relationship reveal its character. Let the work become familiar. Let the new home gather ordinary memories. Do not demand immediate certainty, and do not demand instant healing from yourself. My beloved child, when an old wound is touched, communicate without accusation. Instead of saying, you are going to abandon me, say, when communication becomes quiet, I notice fear rising because silence once preceded loss. Could you help me understand what is happening? Instead of disappearing from an opportunity, say, this decision has stirred an older fear of failure. I need time to examine the details clearly. This is not weakness. This is truth spoken with responsibility. Make room for grief before grief has to force its way into the room. Set aside time to pray, write, remember, walk, weep, or speak with someone trustworthy. Grief that is given a chair at the table does not have to overturn the table to be noticed. And do not carry alone what has become too heavy to carry alone. Let wise friends, mature members of your faith community, or a trusted pastor stand beside you. If grief continually overwhelms your daily life or prevents you from functioning, receive appropriate professional care without shame. Support is not evidence that faith has failed. Sometimes, support is one of the ways care reaches you. Examine the opportunity as well as your emotions. Does it respect your boundaries? Can truth be spoken without retaliation? Is there mutual care rather than one-sided taking? Are you allowed enough time to make responsible decisions? Healthy beginnings do not require you to silence wisdom in order to prove faith. Not rushing, not hiding, not surrendering discernment, but moving with patience, honesty, and support. Now become still and name 3 things before me: one opportunity that is present, one grief it has awakened, and one safe next step you can take. Perhaps the next step is a conversation, a question, a written plan, a counseling appointment, or simply waiting one more day before deciding. My beloved child, you can tend grief while participating in life, and in the next place, I will show you how remembrance can travel with you, honored, carried, and loved without being allowed to govern the road ahead. My beloved child, carrying a memory is not the same as living under its command. You may keep what was meaningful without allowing what happened to govern every choice, every relationship, and every road that opens before you. Let remembrance become a stone you carry, not a stone tied around your feet. Let it become a letter kept safely, one you may open with tenderness without reading it every hour. Let it become a lamp carried down a new road, giving wisdom from what you have lived without forcing you to walk backward. Let it become roots beneath a growing tree, still part of your story, still holding truth, while new branches reach toward light they have never touched before. My beloved child, remembrance can become life-giving. You can tell the truth about what happened without letting the wound become your identity. You can preserve a meaningful tradition, speak a beloved name, honor a dream that did not survive, or create something generous from what you learned. You can allow loss to deepen your compassion for people carrying griefs no one else can see. But hear me carefully. You do not have to call every painful event good in order to move forward. You do not have to say that every betrayal was necessary or that every loss was arranged for your benefit. What wounded you may still have been wrong. Meaning can grow from wounded ground without calling the wound a gift. Some questions may remain unanswered. Peace does not always come as a complete explanation of why something happened. Sometimes peace comes as the quiet assurance that an unanswered question no longer has the power to close every door. I know that pain may have persuaded you to make a vow. Never trust that deeply again. Never share that dream again. Never become that open again. Yet becoming hard is not the only way to become wise. Softness with boundaries is strength. Openness joined with discernment is strength. Allowing a trustworthy person to know you gradually is strength. My beloved child, you may remember and receive. You may grieve and grow. You may honor and continue. You may remember and receive. You may grieve and grow. You may honor and continue. Now become still. Place the past into my keeping, not discarded, not denied, but released from the task of controlling your future. Whisper, Father, hold what I cannot change, preserve what was true, and guide what comes next. The memory may travel with you, but it does not have to choose the destination. And in the next place, my beloved child, I will show you how remembrance and opportunity can share the same story, how to receive present goodness without rewriting the chapter that came before or demanding that the chapter ahead explain it. My beloved child, the new chapter does not have to resemble the old dream in order to be worthy of gratitude. What is before you may carry a different name, arrive by a different road, or grow in a form you never imagined. Different does not mean lesser. New does not mean disloyal. Comparison keeps asking, does this person replace the one I lost? Does this role restore everything the last one took from me? Does this home resemble the life I once planned? Does this season compensate for all the years that hurt? But attention asks a gentler question. What goodness is present here? Look closely, my beloved child, not for dramatic guarantees, not for a future made perfectly certain, but for quiet evidence. Is there steadiness when emotions change? Is there honest communication when conversations become difficult? Is peace growing slowly, rather than being forced? Is the opportunity responsible? Is effort shared? Can you remain truthful without becoming afraid that honesty will cost you everything? These ordinary signs may not feel spectacular, but roots grow quietly beneath the soil. What becomes trustworthy is often revealed through consistent care, patient choices, and truth practiced when no one is performing. Do not turn your suffering into a price that had to be paid for this opportunity. You do not need to explain every delay, every tear, or every loss as a necessary transaction before you are allowed to receive the present. Some pain may remain unexplained. Some endings may never appear fair, yet goodness can still be goodness without becoming repayment for everything you endured. And receiving goodness does not require you to declare the future risk-free. Courage is not possessing control over every outcome. Courage is participating faithfully in what is true today while placing tomorrow into my hands. Think of setting a table. There is room for a remembrance that honors what came before, and there is room for new bread that nourishes the life before you. The memory does not have to remove the meal, and the meal does not have to remove the memory. Both may be received without turning either into an enemy. Now pause and thank me for one present gift, not the entire future, not a guarantee that nothing difficult will happen. One gift, one honest conversation, one safe room, one meaningful task, one person who has shown steady care, one morning in which hope returned quietly. Receive what is here, my beloved child, not as a replacement, not as repayment, not as a promise that grief will never visit again, but as present goodness worthy of attention. You do not have to forget where you have been to stop living there. Hold that truth close. In the final place of this letter, we will gather your grief, your gratitude, your fear, and your hope into one prayer of surrender, so you may move forward peacefully without abandoning any part of your honest heart. My beloved child, your grief is still seen, your joy is still permitted, your memory is still honored, and the new opportunity is still allowed to grow. Unclench your hands, soften your shoulders, take a slow breath, and imagine placing before me both what you lost and what is now beginning. You do not have to choose which one I may hold. Bring me the old sorrow, bring me the open door, bring me the heart that is grateful, grieving, hopeful, and afraid. Now pray. Father, I thank you for the goodness before me, without pretending that every part of me feels ready. I bring you my gratitude without performance, my grief without shame, my fear without giving fear authority, and my hope without demanding certainty. Give me wisdom to recognize what is trustworthy. Help me notice honesty, patience, mutual care, and steady character. Give me courage to speak truthfully when an old wound is touched. Teach me to ask questions without accusation, to establish boundaries without guilt, and to take the next step without rushing. Give me patience to move at a healthy pace. When I want immediate answers, teach me to remain present. When I want to withdraw, help me pause and gather what is true. Give me humility to receive support from wise people and to seek appropriate care when the burden becomes too heavy to carry alone. Father, I release this new person, this new work, this new home, this new stability, and this renewed purpose from the task of repairing my entire past. Let each gift become what it truly is, not my savior, not my proof of worth, but something I can receive with wisdom and gratitude. Bless my relationships with honest communication. Bless my work with integrity and purpose. Bless my home with room for both remembrance and new life. Bless my steps with discernment, and let peace grow patiently within me, not as instant escape from grief, but as a lamp for the road ahead. My beloved child, you are not disloyal for living. You are not ungrateful for grieving. You are not broken because healing remains unfinished. You may begin again while tenderness remains. You may carry memory without living beneath its command. You may welcome joy without betraying what mattered. Now whisper this slowly: Father, help me receive what is here without denying what I have carried. Take one more breath. Let the past rest in my keeping. Let the present remain open in your hands. And step forward in peace.